Coming up on The Shield, Pastor Grega is remembered with a new work of art.
And a Valpo student musician becomes a hit on iTunes.
The forecast starts off pretty cool and dreary, but what changes are in store for the weekend? I'll have that coming up.
Valpo has hosted its 10th annual Peace and Justice Symposium. I'm Molly Smirka.
And I'm Justin Thompson-Gee. That story is first here on The Shield.
The Office of Multicultural Programs presented the 10th Annual Peace and Justice Symposium in the Hara Union on Saturday. The purpose of the symposium is to promote civic engagement and social responsibility by strengthening peace, justice, equality, and unity around campus and in the community.
A lot of student organizations involved, especially those students who are interested in improving human relations, working to make our world a better place, and also looking at issues such as human rights, peace in the world, and all of those issues that social justice involves.
The design of the event is to bring to light issues of social justice and being active in the community, whether it's the Valpo community or the Valparaiso University community, for social equality and issues like that.
The theme this year was human rights, where students went to focus sessions on topics such as world hunger and social justice. Other events included an Oxfam Hunger Banquet and a keynote address by Priscilla Guillen, who has worked with human rights in her native Mexico. The focus sessions were student-led by campus groups such as Residents of Life and SALT, the Social Action Leadership Team. And all the proceeds from the American Hunger Banquet went to the Chapel of the Resurrection's World Relief Mission.
This past week, the university celebrated the life of a former Valpo pastor. We'd now turn it over to VUTV correspondent Katie Blaze to give us the inside scoop.
This past week, the university honored the late Pastor Grego with the dedication of a sculpture entitled Prosperity.
According to Pastor James, Pastor Grega was the first woman to serve as university pastor at Valparaiso University. The sculpture dedicated to Grega explains her commitment to outreach and service here at Valpo.
She placed a really high value in outreach and being connected to people beyond the walls of the chapel and being connected with people who may not even have seen themselves as being connected to the chapel. And so the idea is for this piece to be outside the building as an expression of that openness and inclusivity.
Dr. Jim went on to explain what kind of person Grega was and her impact on the university.
Well, she was one of the pastors here on the pastoral staff at the time. There were 3 of us. And she had a specific commitment to really good preaching. She led worship with grace and humor. But she was also, as I said already, really deeply committed to making connections with students who might have perceived themselves to be not connected with the chapel.
The university has future plans to permanently install the Prosperity sculpture somewhere outside on the Valparaiso University campus. Reporting for The Shield, I'm Katie Blaze.
Thank you, Katie. This sculpture will be a wonderful reminder of the life and service of Pastor Grega.
The Christopher Center has a new display on the main floor. The library has a St. James Bible exhibit that offers students more information regarding what the Bible has to offer and more in-depth coverage on the translation. The exhibit shows mistakes found in the translation, words from the book that are commonly used today, and also a timeline outlining the history concerning the St. James Version. Rachel Muskowitz, a librarian at the Christopher Center, gave all the details to VUTV correspondent Grace Luke. Here's what she had to say.
The King James Bible was first produced 400 years ago at the request of King James of England, who really wanted a vernacular copy of the Bible, so in this case in English. There had been other ones in Europe, mostly in German, but he really wanted an English version so the more common people could read it and understand it, as well as the nobility and those who were literate and could read already.
Balancing schoolwork and other extracurricular activities can be challenging to students. One freshman girl knows this firsthand. Shield News correspondent Ricky Cody sat down with Lexi Alicia, an uprising music artist with a fan base full of Valpo students.
VU freshman Lexi Elijah is what she describes as your average 18-year-old girl, except her passion for music. Elijah has been singing since she was young, banging pots and pans with her family back home, and she says this hobby will be her future career.
absolutely want to do this long term. There's no doubt in my mind that I want to be touring and on the road, whatever God has for me, whether that be on the road my whole life or whether it be in the church, in worship music, or working in a pastoral position.
When Lexi's full album, Let Go, was released on November 1st of this year, she was ranked 152nd in the Christian and Gospel albums, according to iTunes. Now, since the release date, Lexi's album jumped 133 spots to 19th. And while the sales of her album will not be figured until December of this year, Lexi says she feels confident that this album was a success.
So for my next record, I'm already starting to write, which will, it'll probably take 2 years for the record to come, or a year and a half like this one. But you start now, and who knows, it might fast track because this record was a success.
There is no question that Lexi has worked for what she has earned. Balancing her coursework and her uprising music career can have its challenges. But Lexi says she uses her voice as a vehicle to share her message of love and gratitude, friendship and hardship to an audience of all ages.
I want to reach everyone because just because I'm a Christian, that doesn't mean that I haven't gone through heartbreak, and I did.
Lexi's hits have become popular with Valpo students, girls and guys alike.
Her songs are really catchy, and Effortless just has like a meaning behind it.
The lyrics in her songs, everybody can relate to, not only girls, but even guys too.
While confident in her music, Lexi knows the music industry is tough and does have a backup plan.
That's why I'm at Valparaiso University, because I know their education is incredible, and I will have something to fall back, if you will, on. Also, I do want to get plugged into a church. Worship leading is something I'm passionate about, so if I do land there, I would not be upset at all.
During my interview with Lexi, it became increasingly obvious that her music is just one part of her. She says she's still the same old girl with the same morals and beliefs as ever before, but this time, with just a few more listeners.
I mean, if you meet me, I want to make sure that you meet Lexi before you meet a singer. I never want to be the kind of girl that says, hi, I'm a singer and my name's Lexi. But I want to be Lexi first. I want you to know me as me first.
For The Shield here on VUTV, I'm Ricky Cody.
To listen to all of Lexi's music and to help her continued rise to the top, log on to iTunes and purchase her CD.
We're going to take a quick break.
And when we come back, we'll have your sports update and a look at Valpo's weather forecast. We'll be right back.
I'm Molly, and I'm on VUTV.
All right. We're from Kappa Kappa Gamma. We're on VUTV.
Hi, my name is Mike. I'm the WVUR General Manager, and I'm on VUTV.
We're always and we're on VUTV.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Aliana.
And we're on VUTV.
Hey, what's up? I'm Milk. And I'm Matt. We're on VUTV.
I'm Helen Dollin. I'm on VUTV.
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Claire.
My name's Sarah.
And we're on
VUTV.
We're Kappa Delta and we're on VUTV.
I'm Rachel and I'm on VUTV.
Hi, I'm Matthias.
I'm Hillary.
And I'm Philip.
And we're on
VUTV.
I'm Tom and I'm on VUTV.
I'm Amanda and I'm on VUTV.
Hey, I'm Ted and I'm on VUTV.
We're Valparaiso Ultimate and we're on VUTV.
We're UPC and we're on VUTV.
Welcome back to The Shield.
Now taking a look outside of Valpo. President Barack Obama is back in the U.S. There you can see Air Force One arriving at Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland Friday evening. Mr. Obama joined other G20 leaders in Cannes, France, to look at ways to resolve the Eurozone's debt crisis. He said recent events in Greece have underscored the importance of implementing a Greek economic bailout plan fully and quickly, he said, but the elements were in place to ensure stability, including a firewall around European debt, the strengthening of European banks, charting a sustainable path for Greece, and making structural reforms.
Television mainstay Andy Rooney has died. He was 92 years old. Rooney began his journalism career in the military, writing for the GI newspaper Stars and Stripes, and he also flew with the 8th Air Force in the first bombing raid over Germany in 1944. He began his regular commentary segment, A Few Minutes with Andy Rooney, for 60 Minutes in 1978, where he remained until his retirement in October. Rooney is survived by his children, Ellen, Martha, Emily, and Brian.
Some banks in Oakland, California are boarding up for the weekend. Workers were busy Friday. Chase Bank, which has had its windows shattered last week, told local media that the decision was made after protesters returned to the area last Friday. Many businesses in Oakland are saying they are getting fed up with Occupy demonstrators and the damage they are causing. Oakland business leaders say the mayor needs to step in. The city has received 15 requests for help from businesses that were damaged last week. No word yet on how much damage has caused the taxpayers.
Protesters swarmed Sydney, Australia today, part of, again, the Occupy movement. There were about 1,000 total in both Sydney and Melbourne. Police were out in full force to make sure everything went smoothly, and demonstrators remained peaceful. Many say they aren't going to give up until they see change. The Sydney Morning Herald reports 2 men were arrested so far at the protest.
The leader of Colombia's main leftist rebel group has been killed. A senior government official says the Colombian military killed Alfonso Cano, a leader of the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, or FARC as it's better known. Cano took over FARC the top spot in March 2008. He has proved elusive to the authorities. The FARC has been at war with the Colombian government since the 1960s. The United States and European Union consider FARC a terrorist organization.
3 Illinois men are going free after spending nearly 2 decades in prison for a crime the court now says they did not commit. James Hardin walked out a Cook County jail on Friday. In 1991, he was one of 5 teenagers accused of sexually assaulting and murdering a 14-year-old girl. Some of the teens confessed to the crime but later took back their statements, saying they were coerced by police. New DNA testing linked a serial rapist to the crime, and a judge overturned the convictions of the 3 men still serving time. Hardin's brother and a 3rd man will also be released. Prosecutors plan to vacate the convictions of 2 other men who have already completed their sentences.
2 children were killed in an accident near Washington, D.C. Friday night. It happened in Prince George's County, Maryland. Authorities say 3 cars were involved in the accident. The one with the children inside caught fire. An adult in the car was rushed to the hospital, and authorities were on the scene investigating.
You've seen the destruction caused by earthquakes. Now a new study details their devastating health effects. The study published in The Lancet found that earthquakes have caused more than 780,000 deaths worldwide in the past 10 years. Beyond the staggering number of deaths, quakes can cause a lot of severe injuries, such as crushed organs and broken bones. Earthquakes also severely damage infrastructure, including roads and hospitals. That causes treatment delays for some injured people who can end up getting worse or even dying. The researchers added that millions of people live in major cities at risk for earthquakes, including New York, LA, and Tokyo.
Jimmy Buffett fans in Key West got a real treat Friday night. The singer and songwriter performed for more than an hour at the 20th annual Parrot Head Convention. "I heard I was in town," Buffett said as he walked on stage. He sang a number of hits including A Pirate Looks 40, Tin Cup Chalice, and Nautical Wheelers. Parrot Head fans flock to Key West each year to see the island that is portrayed in many of Buffett's songs.
This Iowa man faces prostitution charges. A woman told police 83-year-old Ben Clifford Dawson offered to perform sex acts on her in exchange for repayment of a loan. She says he then grabbed her and tried to kiss her. Dawson, who is running for city council in Centerville, Iowa, has been charged with prostitution and intent to commit sexual abuse. He was released from jail after paying a $2,000 bond.
Coming up, Jeff Larson will update us on the latest in Crusader sports.
But first, Rebecca Shepard will have your Valpo weather forecast. We'll be right back.
We're the Torch and we're on VUTV.
We're Delta Sigma Pi and we're on VUTV. Woo!
We're Student Senate and we're on VUTV.
We're Vuvox and we're on VUTV.
We're Alliance and we're on VUTV.
We're the Crusader Pep Band and we're on VUTV. We're Mesa and we're on VUTV.
We're Handles and we're on VUTV.
Hello, I'm Kathleen and I am with Housing Opportunities and I am on VUTV.
Hi, we're the Lutheran Deaconess Association and we're on VUTV. We are Greek University and we're on VUTV.
I'm ROTC and I'm on VUTV.
I'm Zach Clark and I'm on VUTV.
We're Sigma Phi Epsilon and we're on VUTV.
Welcome back to The Shield. I'm Molly Smirka. Connecticut is still struggling to recover from the rare October snowstorm that hit last Saturday. Governor Dan Malloy says they are making progress restoring electricity to residents. Connecticut's Attorney General is calling for regulators to investigate the power company's response to the storm.
And now we're joined by SHIELD meteorologist Rebecca Shepard. Big news today in the Valpo meteorology community with Ginger Z announcing that she is going to Good Morning America.
Yeah, and that's very exciting to hear one of our alum being able to make it not only just to Chicago, but big all the way to GMAs. That's really good.
Exactly. Now on to the weather. Hopefully we won't have to deal with any of that snow that they have in the Northeast.
Definitely not what they have in the Northeast. We're not going to have to deal with that. We are a little cool as we start the forecast, however. We did have a system that affected Oklahoma and brought actually severe weather to the Oklahoma area on Monday. That moved through our area as we progress through the week. That's what's bringing us these cooler temperatures. Now, we're not talking snow cold, but definitely a colder and dreary start than what we've been used to. Fortunately, that doesn't stick around for too long, and we do warm up as we move into the work week. Now, taking a look at Futurecast, this is that low pressure system I was talking about. It has moved up and it's off to our north currently, but you can see this cold front passed through our area. That's why we're starting pretty cool. We'll have breezing conditions tonight. As we move into Thursday, we do have a chance for some showers and maybe even some snow. Nothing like what the Northeast is experiencing. And thankfully, Friday, you can see it clears out pretty quickly, and we stay nice as we move into the weekend. So for tonight, you can expect low temperatures near freezing at 34 degrees. It will be breezy at gusting up to 20 miles per hour. When we first get up tomorrow, you can expect some showers and possibly a little bit of snow flurries. Temperature only getting up to 44 degrees. That's below average for this time of year. Thankfully, though, as we take a look at our 5-day forecast, you can see that we do warm up as we move into the weekend. Friday, we do reach a 48 degrees, and our low temperatures start to warm up, 37 on Friday. Saturday, we start to get back to more seasonal temperatures with a high of 53 and sunny skies. Sunday, we can expect a high of 57 degrees, and Monday, we do warm up all the way to 60. Now, as we do start the work week, we do have a chance for some showers, but I'll take 60 degrees over cold, dreary rain any day.
Exactly. Well, thanks for that forecast, Rebecca.
And now we turn over to Jeff Larson, who has the Crusader Sports Update. Jeff?
Thank you, Molly. The men's soccer team was at Brown Field last Wednesday taking on the Butler Bulldogs with the Horizon League regular season title on the line. Going to the 19th minute, Guy Shabtai scores from 30 yards out off a pass from Stefan Antonievich, his second of the season, making it 1-0 Crusaders. Then Butler strikes in the 75th minute. Zach Steinberger scores from the right side off a free kick from Jared Isenthal, his fourth, tying the game up at 1. In the first overtime, Kyle Zobek with one of his 2 saves in the first overtime here. And the Crusaders and the Bulldogs draw at 1 goal apiece, good enough for the Crusaders to capture the first Horizon League regular season championship in school history. Then on Saturday, they traveled up north to take on the Green Bay Phoenix for the regular season finale. The Phoenix would need overtime as they handed the Crusaders their first conference loss, 1-0. The 2011 Horizon League tournament is set with the Crusaders as the #1 seed with the semifinals and championship to be played at Brown Field. The Crusaders will play their semifinal game on Friday, November 11th. The football team was in action last Saturday when they took on Marist. After a Calvin McCoy touchdown, Eric Hoffman finds Cole Anderson from 5 yards out, tying the game up at 7. Then it would be all Marist from here as Tommy Riley finds Kevin Fitzpatrick from 28 yards out, giving Marist the 17-7 halftime lead. Then Riley would find Fitzpatrick again in the third, this one from 32 yards out, and that would be enough for Marist to seize the victory 30-7. The team will return to action on Saturday when they take on Campbell at Brown Field, which will be senior day for the Crusaders. Kickoff will be at 1 p.m. The volleyball team continued their 6-game road trip last weekend with a pair of games. Friday, they took on Youngstown State and swept them in straight sets, 25-16, 25-23, and 25-19. Katie Britton had a team-high 10 kills, Jenny Pokorny added 30 assists, and Taylor Root registered a game-high 14 digs. The next day, they took on the Cleveland State Vikings, looking for revenge the last time they battled at the Yard, with the Vikings making a comeback. The Crusaders couldn't capitalize on scoring opportunities as they fell in 4 sets, 22-25, 25-20, 25-18, and 25-15. For the Vikings, Kara Koch had a game-high 22 kills and 14 digs. For the Crusaders, Mary Dent and Katie Britton each had 10 kills, with Taylor Root getting a game-high 28 digs. They will be back in action on Friday, November 11th, when they take on the first-place Milwaukee Panthers at the Yard with a start time of 7 p.m. The women's basketball team concluded their exhibition schedule on Saturday when they took on St. Joe's. The Crusaders picked up the win 65-62. Mallory Ladd was impressive from start to finish, finishing with a game-high 23 points and 19 rebounds. Ashley Varner had 14 points and 10 rebounds, and Gina Lang added 10 points and 8 rebounds of her own. They kick off the season on Saturday, November 12th, when they travel to SIU Edwardsville, with tip-off starting at 1 p.m. Finally, the men's basketball team kicked off their season against the Pac-12's Arizona Wildcats in the opening round of the 2K Sports Coaches vs. Cancer Classic. Late in the first half, Jesse Perry would clean up Kyle Fogg's missed layup for an and one to give Arizona the lead going into the half. Then it would be all Arizona in the second half. Jordan Mays hits the three to give the Wildcats a 15-point lead. Then Fogg would drive over the top for a floater. He had 16 points in that game as the Wildcats pick up the win, 73-64. Arizona's Jesse Perry had a double-double with 14 points and 10 rebounds. For the Crusaders, Kevin Van Vyk and Ryan Brokoff tied with 18 points, which was a game high. They will be back on the hard floor on Friday, November 11th, when they travel to Georgia Southern. Start time is at 6:30 p.m. That's it from the sports desk. I'm Jeff Larson. Molly, back to you.
Thanks, Jeff. And that's all the news for now. I'm Molly Smirka.
And to watch on-demand VUTV programming, visit youtube.com/ValpoVUTV. For all of us here at VUTV, have a good night.